Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are warned that the following video may contain images and voices of deceased persons. Akara acknowledges that the filming for this illustration of practice took place on the traditional land, sea, sky and waterways of the Palawa people. This illustration demonstrates how the three dimensions of the Australian curriculum work authentically together through a focus on the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures cross-curriculum priority.
We have begun working closely looking at how we can actually foremost improve the outcomes for our Aboriginal students. One of the other significant areas has been to develop a whole school approach to teaching Aboriginal history and culture.
We have a revolving process. Last year we focused on country, this year we're focusing on culture, and next year we're focusing on the key concept of people. We have a big whole staff professional learning session or experience every year. This year we used a learning experience called Gumnuts to Buttons. During Gumnuts to Buttons, the participants see the map of Tasmania changing from being covered in gumnuts to being covered in buttons, and Aboriginal land being taken away and only tiny little bits being given back. And there are stories and recounts right through the experience that are based on historical fact that really give the participants an understanding of what it was like from an Aboriginal perspective. As well as taking time to reflect on the professional learning as a whole, we also have an expectation that teachers will then use that to inform their own teaching practice and work within their professional learning communities to develop a unit of work. This year we have worked with our 3-4 teachers to create an inquiry unit called What Happens When Cultures Collide. So our 3-4 teachers decided that they were going to focus on the HASS curriculum, and we always also make it essential that teachers include organising ideas from the cross-curriculum priority of Aboriginal histories and culture.
To do that, we actually needed to work with our community members as well as the Aboriginal Education Unit, and bringing those people in as well as our Aboriginal education worker. And our literacy coordinator was also working with the classroom teachers in actually planning and really refining and creating a really strong piece of inquiry.
I guess one of the most exciting things about our HASS unit this year is the real purpose to learning and the engagement for students. And I think one of the most important things as a literacy coach in the school is looking for authentic opportunities for writing. And we know that with authentic opportunities, we get a high level of engagement.
We chose to use Gumnuts to Buttons for the students as a tuning in activity. Quite a few of them had a bit of prior knowledge, but we spent a bit of time before the unit making sure that they had enough prior knowledge to be able to complete the learning task properly.
So after doing Gumnuts to Buttons, we've now read the story of the rabbits, and the children are completing a Venn diagram to compare and contrast the two stories. In the rabbits, the connection that Aboriginal people have to place and country really comes through. And of course, to do with the grade 4 curriculum, it's all about the nature of first contact between European people and Aboriginal people.
We're doing a scene where it's when the white people came to Tarrawanna and they had an argument because they didn't understand each other. The white people took over their land and took their foods. I felt sad for the Aboriginals because they had nothing to eat, and they had no other choice to eat the sheep because all the wallabies were gone.
We've done quite a few exercises where we've either had to explain something without using any language, or we've replicated what it might have been like to lose language, and talked about how it would feel to have that language taken away from you, and ways in which it's currently being revived and what it might look like in the future.
What I'm hoping from this unit is that children understand that there's hope for the future, that it's a living and breathing culture, that culture and country is still happening in this place.
So the culminating performance will be students creating an artwork that depicts everything that they've learnt through the unit and that they understand now, with the key question they're answering is, what should all Tasmanians know about Palawa culture today?
I think we should know about Palawa culture today is that it's really important and that we don't want it to get lost again.
This picture is about Fanny Cochrane-Smith, and I'm related to her, and she's special because she's got possum tails. In this picture she's singing Palawa Kani.
You ready? Here we go. Fantastic. So my role here at Margate Primary as an Aboriginal Education Officer, I guess, is to create a sense of confidence within Aboriginal students to share their culture through means of sharing language, Palawakani. So, you know, at the moment we're teaching kids how to sing in language, Milaidina Nikamanamapli, which is a welcome to country song, and then having them teach that song to their friends and their classmates.
What I think about the song is it's really nice and it is important to keep it going, or keep the language and the song going, or we won't have the language.
I think what the school is doing is trying to make it a safe place for the children to say, look, we're Aboriginal, we're proud of it. The school supports our for us to use our language in the school through Welcomes to Country, and for all the students and the families to show respect to Aboriginal culture and the Aboriginal community.
We are in this place because of what has gone before us. Where we go in the future is dependent on how we deal with it in this present place.
You know, because of the leadership from, you know, Kate and the senior teachers here, I think, you know, the wider community around the Channel area is coming to see that Margate Primary School is serious about their Aboriginal education curriculum.